A year after the military coup in Thailand, where do you think the country is going to?
I think right now it's very unclear, largely because since the coup there were promises from the junta about when there would be a return to democracy or the beginning of a return to democracy, when there would be a process of holding elections, when the constitution would be finished. At this point, so several weeks after the draft constitution has first been released, it's clear that democracy is a long way off, both in terms of when elections might be held, but actually also in terms of having a constitution which reflects the views and voices of the majority of the people. So my concern a year after the coup is that what we're seeing, rather than a swift return to democracy, which was part of the initial promise, is actually an entrenching of military rule.
Do you have any specific policy proposal to suggest, and to whom would you like to suggest a policy?
So my suggestions are to the junta, the National Council for Peace and Order, since they're the ones currently in charge of the country. My strongest recommendation is to cease persecuting people for thinking differently than those in power. So, for example, this would include ceasing summoning and arbitrarily detaining citizens. This would include ceasing politicized prosecutions under Article 112 and releasing those who are currently being held on charges under that law. And it would include ceasing various other forms of intimidation. So it would include ceasing forbidding the holding of academic and other public seminars on various topics. Many have been canceled because the junta has deemed that they are a threat to national security or to their rule. This should be stopped. People should be allowed to hold public discussions on the topics that they wish to hold.
What is the single most important argument you plan to make at your presentation tomorrow?
So the single most important argument is a two-pronged one, and it is that observers of Thailand following the coup have failed to recognize two things. One, the depth of repression that has taken place, and then two, the range of forms of dissent which have responded to that repression. I think both of these are missed by many, many observers.